Let's get cracking, motherfuckers. Let's see what's going on there. Give me a second there. We'll get started in just a moment there. Alright then, let's go. What's going on, champs? Hope you guys doing well. So welcome to episode 86. Freaking hell, man. We are piling on this shit. So this episode itself, right, there's not going to be much different from yesterday, but we're just going to talk about the market structure on dollar index, what ES is saying, again, what BTC and Ethereum is doing as well. Some of you guys may have seen that Luna has popped up like a motherfucker right now, which is all perfectly fine. But what does that mean? Does that mean that when we go up higher in terms of Bitcoin, are we gonna have another bull run? It's all very volatile. It's all very crazy, all over the place at the moment. So I think it's like there's gonna be a big week today, which we can touch base on there in terms of the calendar. Let's just actually go into it at the moment as well. I mean, today's Wednesday, so we got PPI today at 1:30 UK time as well. We got the FOMC meeting minutes happening tonight at 7 o'clock in the evening UK time. Tomorrow CPI on Wednesday. Again 1:30, and that's the main thing. Then we got core retails on Friday, so and preliminary UM. So it's gonna be a bit of a messy week though. So I do think there's gonna be some stop runs happening as well. I am in a long on BTC and Ethereum. I got stopped at yesterday. I re-entered again, approximately the same area that I actually entered in again. Looked like a stop run, so we'll see what happens. Liquidity has been taken out on the Monday, but who knows? We'll talk about dollar index, and I think dollar index is showing to shape up something that we should be paying attention to, that we could be going a lot more lower. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Before I do so, as usual, let's just do the let's do the shout out to all these guys who's here. We've got Boronator here. How you doing, man? I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right. How you keeping? Market's been a bit of a fucked up one, isn't it? Got Daink Country Club's here. It's always here. If anyone wants to request charts, please use your madness. Thank you so much for that, bro. Yeah, so we are gonna, because it's gonna be a bit of a shorter version in terms of the outlook itself, because it's a day trade kind of thing, so there's not much has changed really, but we'll do some more requests, and I'll take some more requests towards the end, try and fit in one or two, see what what the time is saying, but we'll speed up on that as well. We've got Hamza Malik, walaikum salam, my bro. Guna's in the house as well, morning to you. Marta's here again. How you doing there? I got Stanley, my man. I can't even speak properly, got a bit of a croaky voice going on. Stanley, my man, what's good? Gandalf's in the house. Thomas is here again as well. I'm doing alright, my bro. How about yourself? Ivy Chang's here. Ed's here. Ed, shout out to Ed, man. He's making the whole process on the DCC so much easier. For those who was in the country club, you guys have no idea how hard this guy's working as well. He may be a bit cool, but like, nah, it's nothing. But this guy is something else, man. He's definitely going to be like my number 2 going forward in the future as well. I can definitely see him actually being someone actually be really important to us as well in the group. And in the community as well, not just in the group, but in the community in crypto. Really smart guy. He knows where to go. He knows who to what to look for as well. Intelligent young human being as well. 100%, man. So Adam's in the house as well. Yeah, he's definitely a legend, man. Yeah, give him show him some love, man. Round of applause to him as well in the group as well. For fucking hell, because you know what it is. Because like I've got this whole homework system going on as well. And he was just and we were just talking in DMs right now, and he's figuring out a system to make this whole homework thing easy for each of the members there. So fucking hell, man. You know what? It's gonna be. It would have been hard without him. Definitely, it was gonna be hard, 100%. Because this score is completely new. It's fucking new. I don't really like it so much, but shout out to the guy there. And I got 19. I think I got 2,000 followers. I don't know if I got. Did I hit 2,000 followers? Let me just double check that. View channel. Yeah, I hit 2,000 followers, man. Fucking hell, 3 months in the making, 2,000 followers there, and that's I'm what 2% of my my target. I want to get to 100k eventually, inshallah, whenever that happens. But you know what, I'm really grateful for all of you guys. One at a time. You guys have all actually supported me on for God knows how long as well. So big love to you guys. This wouldn't be possible if it wasn't if it wasn't for you guys. 100%. Each of you individually has made a massive impact to me, and I'm grateful for that. Thank you so much for that. And God bless you all, man. So thank you, Andy. Appreciate that, man. Andy knows the journey. The journey. I mean, he's watched me. He's Andy's is a is a close family of mine as well. And he's actually seen the whole journey from how it was last year, the year before, and even when I was in pharmacy and shit, man. He's seen me growing into all this craziness. So thank you so much for your support, Andy, and your father as well. You know, like, alhamdulillah for this as well. May God bless you guys as well. So I'm never gonna forget this. Trust me, Andy. We're gonna do something special soon, right? Take your family out for dinner, something like that. We'll do something special. We got Bamboo in the house, Jordan's in the house as well. Thank you so much for that, man. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Side effects of the global markets, bro. Piotr's in the house. Ralph, thanks for, you know what? It's you're welcome, man. You're welcome. But thank you so much for the 2K. You know, I really appreciate that. Like, I'm really fucking happy, actually. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really fucking happy. Has been a fucking grind, but it shows you that anyone can do it. Not just me. You guys can do it as well. So people have different skills, different attributes to contribute to the game, and you just gotta find your niche in it. Like, my niche really itself is charting on lower time frame, as you guys are aware, scalping, day trades, that kind of shit. Other people has like other niches, like on swing trades and whatnot. Everyone's got their own style, and I'm grateful for it. Alhamdulillah for this. So let's get cracking. Enough of this bullshit of actually, you know, saying thank you. You know, I got love for you guys, but let's fucking just do this, man. We all came here for dollar index to see what's going on and see what crypto's saying. So let's fucking work this out. All right. So going into this, man, dollar index, right? I said to you carefully, right, is that when we was coming into around here, right, when we, you know, broke up, right, we broke market structure from this high itself, came back and support off the 25% of the range of the macro range for the weekly. You guys will see me do this over and over again on what the weekly range. I'm not gonna go back into it. I want to speed through this so I can get in some alts in there, okay? So, so what happened was, right, I was saying to you guys, we're gonna come back up, right, to potentially the Monday's high. If we step into Monday's high, I said, watch out for, we're gonna tag this weekly mid-range here, this 133.55 area. And I did say that yesterday again, and looks what happened today. We have tagged it, which is perfectly fine. Alhamdulillah for that. So now the question is this gonna go down, or is this going to go back up? We don't know, because at the moment we are still ranging within this area. This is the range bound environment that we happened like 2 weeks ago on Monday, and it's still there. We're back into this range there. Now we're looking for a rejection. What's going on? If you look at market structure on the 1 hour looks bullish. Like they say, low, higher, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, high, you know, higher high. We got a wick there, higher high. Are we going to make a higher low off this high and then go up there? We don't know, but can you see how this zigzag is curving off, just curving up completely? Soon it's going to be like doing bang, motherfucker, let's go back down. That's what we're looking for, right? But on a lower time frame, looks bullish. So the guys in the DCC, pay attention to this now, right? So you know, when you, like, a lot of the guys are doing like lower time frame market structure, they're doing higher time frame market structure as well. Like, it's all useful there, but this is how you know, this is when you start having an insight. You start looking at what's happening, right? So obviously the curve is actually curving off like that, right? So it was steep at first. I mean, if I were to draw a trend line, I think the trend line still holds at the moment. You see like that? You can see it like that. I mean, there's a deviation right here. We step back up, do a stop run, then we come back down. Are we going to bounce off this and then lose this low over here? Especially when we lose this low, that's your confirmation. Off we go. That's what we're looking for. And another thing you're looking at, so, well, hang on a second. What's capping the market? What's capping the market at the moment? Yeah, we know it's this macro mid-range, right? 133.55. We talked about it plenty of times. But what's happening there? Is there anything in particular that's capping the market? And then we start looking over here. You see this area of consolidation right there before the high, before that send these highs over here that send the market back down. Well, that's where it's come back to. It's just retested this one time, bounce off it, 2 times, bounce off it, maybe a 3rd time, then we bounce off it 1 more time. As long as we're below this block here, we're bearish. So you can put a stop loss here, playing it back down off into this area here, and then we'll see we go level to level, then into this area there. So that's the 1 hour. But if I zoom out on the 4 hours, right? Because remember, look, if you got high, lower low, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then what happened is this high gets taken out and it becomes a higher high, right? And then is this the higher low for this to be the higher high? We don't know exactly. But if I zoom out to the 4 hours, it makes a little bit more sense. Look at this now. What I've got here is I've got price that shows me that this is the high, that's the lower low, that's the lower high, right? And then this whole thing, this whole leg, right? I know there's a bounce over here, but this whole leg is a drop. It's a complete drop to make the lower low. And this looks like that's the lower high for us to make down this this exact drop to go to make a new lower low. That's the market structure that is looking potentially. What makes me think that? Why? Well, it's the same process. This is the last high that sent the market back down, right? And look what happened there. We're finding resistance in that area, and it just so happens that this wick on the high comes there and we kiss it off there quite perfectly nice. And that's it. And we're now trading in underneath it. A bit of a chop there. It's going to be a bit of a chop of the rest of the day because we talked about PPI. So we talked about PPI and CPI is happening today and tomorrow. UOM's preliminary is happening on Friday. So we're going to have volatility. Do we have a stop run and then come back down and play this further? Maybe into this area here, but we don't know. We don't exactly know. But this mid-range has got to hold, right? From this range-bound environment, this mid-range has got to hold. That's what I'm looking for now, right? So what makes us believe that this is it, right? Is that if we start going back down, and we start making new lower lows, right, on the lower time frame, and we start bouncing off this, then this low here I expect to be resistance. Then we can play into this area here, number one, and then we see how we go into the next area. Probably come into this area here, and as you can see, there's an inefficiency here. Some people call it FVG, whichever you want to call it. There's a little bit of an inefficiency there to fill out, and this is the base of the consolidation, right, which send the market back up. So at least come back into here then, right? Then from there we'll see what happens. Okay, so that's the gist of dollar index. Nothing much more to say, but it does look like it's turning over. That's my opinion. I do think it looks like it's turning over. But let's have a look at what ES is saying. ES, nothing has changed. We talked about it yesterday. What was happening yesterday is that price was capped between this high there, so this low there, and this high here. That's where the price was capping it, and we're still range banding in this area. So if I were to zoom down on the 1 hour, right, I mean, like, as long as this low holds, right, we're still, this is the low, that's the high, this could be the lower high, and then we make the high. We don't know, we don't exactly know, but we work this level to level, as long as, so we're capped into here. Now what we need to see on the downside is if we start breaking this down, we step back into this range we talked about yesterday, break down back into the 25% range, and then mid range, or do we actually come back in, step back in, hold into this range bound environment here? This is the same. This is what, 3 weeks, 4 weeks worth of Monday's range day or some shit like that, whatever it is. I think it's 3 weeks or 4 weeks, it's something like that. And this is a range bound environment. It's a bit messy, right? Step back in, come to the mid range, and there's a wick there. Then from here to there, again, that's inefficiency, which fits into the process of what we're talking about with the inefficiencies in dollar index with DXY Dixie. So then if we step back in, we're going to fill this out back into this range, and then we see what happens. So we range bound in this area again, or do we finally get a breakout and come back up and then take out these highs there? We don't know. We're going to work this out level to level. Nothing really has changed here. It's just range bounding. That's all it is. You can't really say much about it. I mean, what's capping the market here? Let's have a look. So we know. Let's have a look. Just a simple SRs. Let's go on the 1 hour. I'll quickly just do that. Then we touch on Bitcoin then. The simple SRs, you can see, well, I've got this area consolidation right here. See this high there and this low there. That's capping the market. That's holding the market right there. Can you see that? See this high here and this low there? This one candle is actually, you can see, yeah, deviation, resistance, support, support. Get it back up, hold it support. Then we start flying. When we come back up, we bounce into this, comes back up, gets into the range, plays within the range. See, resistance, resistance, support, support, a bit of a deviation, support, deviation, support. It's choppy. This area has got to hold. We're going to touch that on Bitcoin in a moment as well. Have a look at something similar to this that's holding the market there. If you guys have seen Twitter, you guys have seen it there. What's going on, GP? GC's in the house, Cryptique's in the house. We've got Michael Caffrey, John Kaboosh. Smash up the likes, everybody, man. Show me some love as well. Piotr's in the house as well. Oh, well, we're behaving at the moment. We're not raving yet. I think we're just behaving at the moment. So it's going to be a bit of a shit one, though. So, what do you take? Right. So, yeah. Let's carry on there. Fucking hell, man. So, yeah. So we're ranging into this now. So, if we, once we take out, let me just remove some of this shit here. Once we take out this high, then we can start looking at holding into it, stepping back into this Monday's range, and then we can play this back up to mid-range. I'll see some reaction off here, take out these highs over there, bounce up, then step back into here. Once we climb above the mid-range, off we go. Let's go into this area here, and then we'll see what happens level to level there. Okay, so that's the gist of it on ES for bulls. If we're going to be bearish, right, then what's going to happen? That I'm going to see this area cap the market here. You see this low here? This low is going to cap the whole market here. So I'm going to watch this area here, see how we react off this. If we start breaking down, come back into this area and step back into here, then it's we're still range banding in this area here. That's one thing. But the moment we lose this block, then we know it's bearishness. Let's play it back down. Start shorting the market on BTC, Ethereum, your alts, the lot as well. Okay. So BTC, what's going on with Bitcoin? Let's take a Bitcoin dominance as well. Bitcoin dominance, it's coming back into this area here. We've gone 4 hours. So we tagged the 25% on the range, right? But we're still capped in this area here between these two red lines there, right? So that's, you can see that's capped, 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 deviation, capped again, right? And this on the bottom, the deviation capped over here. So it looks like we're gonna come back down here. That's in my opinion. And if BTC dominance go down, that means Bitcoin's gonna go up in price, and then alts should start moving. And you can see we've got well, we need to see how we react up here. So do we come back down here, right? Bounce off this. The moment we start losing this this trend line there, off you go. Let's come back down to 40.2%, and then we'll see how we react. If we come back down, I'd love to come back into this area here, and then we'll see what happens next. Okay, so that's Bitcoin dominance. BTC, nothing much has changed. We are pushing up higher a little bit as well. I did get stopped out like a motherfucker yesterday. It was kind of pissed me off a little bit, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So let's just touch the base on this, on the hourly. So what I've got here, I've got a few lines here. It's gonna be a bit messy. Apologies for that. Just deal with it, unfortunately. So 15 minutes. Let's see what's going on. So yesterday we had that stop run. Okay, I entered in yesterday, right? Around here. I entered around here yesterday. Something, I think it was here, somewhere along the lines there. Come back up, right? And then we come to the mid range and into this area of consolidation where we found resistance, and then it shanks off, takes that liquidity, took me out as well. Okay. Then when I saw price coming back up and is on the lower time frame, on like the 5 minutes, I start seeing, well, hang on a second, this is not right. We're grinding back into this. If we are going to find resistance, right? This is Monday's low. Let me just actually highlight this again. So we got Monday's low, mid range, Monday's high. We took out liquidity on Monday's low, on Asia on Tuesday morning in Asia. We took out Monday's low. We then take out the stops out there and we hold it there, and you can see this line here, right? This low, this initial low here is holding a support. So far so good. Nothing to actually worry, to be concerned about. But we gotta play this level to level, right? We are finding some sort of resistance. Where at? Well, off this area here, right? This is where we're finding resistance. Now, as long as dollar index start breaking down, right? Then what I want to see is, and then the ES start pushing up. I want to see this holding into this area, come into the mid range, take out the liquidity, and then from there reclaim this area, and we can go to level. But I'm looking for the monthly open. This is where I'm going to collapse most of my trade. I'm going to collapse most of my trade monthly open, because what could happen is it could be a retest of the monthly open for us to come back down lower. We don't know it entirely, or right. And I'm going to hold a bit of it where looking for taking out liquidity on Monday's high. That's it. And from there, we'll work out what the next level is. We know this area here is the mid-range. This is the area of the mid-range of the 19th of September there. It has stuck in that range itself completely. What have I got this line for? Fuck that. Yeah, it has stuck in that area here completely, right? The mid-range is held, and it's holding here as well, okay? Now, let me cast your eyes on this, right? Let me go into the 4 hours. Let me hide some of this shit here. I am still leaning on bullishness. Let's go on the 1 hour film. Yeah, 4 hours there. I'm still leaning on bullishness. Why? Because you see this area here? This area there? That's all support and resistance right there. I mean, you could potentially just drag it down a bit further down like into here. And it just shows more. I mean, it shows less deviation there. And really and truly, that's a deviation, And all this was support pushes up higher. Support, we're expecting a push higher as well. So if it was like, you see how like we got these wicks there, we wicked into it, then we pushed up higher. But then when we have a close inside of it, then like it takes the stop run, there's a stop run there, and then it pushes up higher. But because it's still within the box, oops. So what I'm really looking for is something like that. So we wicked into the box yesterday. We took out this liquidity here. I'm cautious about this liquidity here. Are we going to take this out? We don't know entirely, but really and truly where I want to see us to reclaim is this hit area here. That low is going to be a bit of a tricky one, which comes in, what day is it? Today's the 10th. The 10th was the Monday. So where's the 10th? The Monday's high was here. That's Monday's high. So Monday's high is here. Right? So straight off the bat, I know this area here is going to have some resistance, right? It's going to have some reaction. Why? Because look, this low here was support, support, lost it, became resistance, and that's it. So, so any retest will become resistance. What I would like to see is ideally something like this, right? If it was to be continually bullish, it would be like that. So, pushes up, maybe some volatility, hold into this area here. Once we can step into this, let's go into this area there, take out the stops there. Done. That's it. Trade's done. I don't really give a shit after that. We got the monthly open there. We also got the liquidity on Monday's high, and that's all we're focusing. Let's not try and overcomplicate the system. Just take it one step at a time. Slower time frame. You know, we're not looking for swing trades. If you're looking for swing trades, well, then you need to put your stop loss here, aiming for these highs over there. You know what I'm saying? So it's still looking potentially strong, but I am aware with the volatility that's going to happen today, what could actually potentially happen was, oops, yeah, what could potentially actually happen is this, like I could get stopped out, come back out here, takes out this low here, takes out this low here, and then come back up and hold above it. And if it does this bullish market structure on the lower time frame, I can re-enter in. I mean, I hate re-entering in again because I did that yesterday. Took a bit of a loss yesterday, which kind of sucks, but I can re-enter in, playing it back into these levels, these SR levels there. I just want to actually bring up my chart and just see where these levels fit in terms of Monday's range. Give me a second there. Yeah, you can see 25% of the range. Yeah, so that's the 25% of the range, and this high over here comes to 75% of the range of this macro range here. So again, we're going to find some resistance over there, but we have to play this level to level, okay? So that's up. Nothing's really has changed. Where would I be bearish? Let's have a look at this. Well, really and truly, right? So we got this range over here, okay? Let's just drag this out. There we go. So really and truly, right? If we, right, decide to say, you know what, fuck this, we're not going to go to monthly open, and then, you know, they're going to get some TP out of there, and we don't get the liquidity high, no problem there. Let's see what happens then. Then what I'm looking for, you see how this is support, and this is support, and this is all support so far. If it starts me out, no problem, you know. If it sets back in, no problem. I'll just play it level to level. But I am going to be tightening my stops. I am going to be tightening like my profits as well. I'm going to watch this quite carefully. We do have about 2.5 hours before this whole CPI, PPI thing comes. CPI today. It's going to be volatile. So I wouldn't recommend anyone to start trading. I wouldn't recommend anyone to trade during these volatile moments, because it can happen. Like it can be some nasty drop, and it could, I don't know, it could do anything. It really could do anything. But I let CPI do its thing. The moment if it starts breaking down, bearishness, so shows me, you know, finds resistance in the mid range, breaks down, finds resistance here, then I'll be looking at targeting this low over here. I'll be target 1, and then see we squeeze into target 2. From there we've got liquidity over here, and if it does break down, and then we know what the bearish play is, we can go back down into that 19th low, and then we'll see what happens there. We can squeeze out and take out this low here. I don't really know, but we can still come back in and play in this area, and it's just a range bound environment. Until then, we're still in a range bound environment between this area here. Okay, so we're just going to focus on that between 19.686 and 18.223. That's where the price is at. Nothing else. It hasn't broken out. It's been about a month there. So a month in, we're still, you know, nothing much has changed. So that's BTC. Ethereum, I took some profits at mid thingy around. What is it? Yeah, Ethereum, I took a little bit of profits so far. Comes at 25% of range. Because I took what happens? I took a loss again yesterday. Same thing. Nothing's really changed. I mean, I'm leaning to more bullishness on Ethereum than I am with Bitcoin. Reason why? Same range, same high, same low on the same goddamn day, and we can see that price is stuck in here. According to this, right, with Bitcoin we're at mid range, with Ethereum we're at range low. So at both points, at both BTC and Ethereum, we are at support. You can't be shorting support. Okay, so I am still leaning bullishness, and I entered in again. Once, you know, we got stopped. Well, I didn't get stopped out. I closed the BTC trade, and Ethereum was showing me that, hang on a second, I actually entered in Ethereum in first before I entered Bitcoin, because I saw Bitcoin took out this low over here, but Ethereum didn't take out this low. In actual fact, it was range banding here on the 15 minutes, right? And he found support off a range low. And then it's just rallied up high, and I entered in just over here, just as the 1 hour candle closed on there. I entered in, and I'm in some profits there. Happy days. So 25% of the range, took some profits over here, and now we're coming to this area, which is a 25% of the range between this high and this mid range and this range low there. So we're gonna find some sort of reaction, but I can see us squeezing all the way to mid range. From the mid range, see how we react. If we get back above, again, liquidity is over here. But monthly open, I'll be taking profits over here at the 75% of the range, which is around 13.25. But at this monthly open, right, I've got to start taking profits here. 13.28. I need to start collapsing majority of the trade because again, we're below the monthly open, so we are fighting a trend, right? So below the monthly open, we're bearish. The question is this a retest for us to go back lower, or is this a deviation, or is this whole thing was just a deviation? I don't really know. We'll find that soon. But once we get back up here, this area here, which is also Monday's liquidity, Monday's high, take out liquidity over there. We've also got the idea that this is the mid range, so maybe a squeeze out there, and then play around here, a bit of choppiness, and do we hold support and get back up and go higher? I don't know. We just play then. We play it as it comes there, and that's all it is for Ethereum. Nothing has changed. It's the same process as yesterday, and it's still the same shit. Okay. So looking at bearishness, what can we look at? Let's go to daily. Well. Number one, let's go to hourly actually. Yeah, let's go to the hourly. 2 hours. Number one, right? If we start finding resistance if we take out this low here, find resistance there, then we're going to play back to $1,200. Because then it say to me, whatever the price is, because this low over here has got to hold. Agree? What type of CPI? 130 in the UK time, bro. Get that what you say, bro? Joe Crate's in the house as well. Goonie, watch it, whipsaw, then just keep us like, yeah, fucking hell, man. That's what I have a feeling that's what's gonna happen. Morning, Adam. How you doing, bro? So, get some water, man. So yeah, bearishness, what I'm looking for. If it breaks down below here, finds resistance after slow. No, that's not right. That's fucking wrong. Let me just delete that. Let me put a line here. Let's put a line right here, approximately there, and we've got this area here. This area here, I want to highlight, and then we've got this area here. Okay, that's all it is. Let's focus on. Let's focus on that. Hide everything off. That's it. Okay. As you can see, we've got a bit of a trend line here. Nice and easy trend line. Okay. Question is, have we broken? I mean, if you can play around, I'd probably do like this, something like that, right? Question is, right? So what we can see clearly that we're retesting this trend line, resistance. We're coming at resistance here off this low there. It just so happens that that's gonna, and that's one of my key factors why I've taken resistance, TP there. I'm gonna be starting to tighten my stops there, and as you can see that low there, support. We lose it, come back as a retest. So I do expect some sort of bounce off there. Does it come into this high here, bounces off there, breaks out and hold above it and then go up higher? We don't know entirely. That's the bullish way in terms of an SR point of view. Or do we actually find resistance there and then come back down? And again, PPI could be volatile. Breaks below here, finds resistance, and then once it finds resistance, this is your confirmation over here. Play it back down to this block over here. This is going to be an area of support. Why? Because it's support here, support there, which means any retest over here will be support. And if it steps back in, play it back down, take out the liquidity on this low, and then we can squeeze into the 25% of the July's range, which is around $1,200, 1205 around that area there. And that's the short case scenario there. Okay? Makes sense? Is it PPI today? CPI? I don't even know, man. All the fucking double letters I, isn't it? And what the fuck's going on? Let's have a look. CPI today, PPI tomorrow. Yeah, CPI is on Wednesday. No, you're right. My mistake. Fucking PPI is today. PPI is today. Thank you for that, Adam. Appreciate that. So yeah, and that's it. That's the gist of it. Any questions? And let's do some alt requests here. Let's see what we got. We're half an hour in. Let's squeeze in an alt or two and see what's going on there. Shitcoin JPY USD chart. Let's see what's in that. breaking down. Actually, you know what? I really want to check out Euro USD. Still range banding in this area. That's where we're ranging off on this low here. In this area, this is the mean over here, and this is and this area is all chopped there. So, question is, do we come back down, find resistance, and then fill out this inefficiency, bounce off to this 0.9608 level, some macro range as well, a macro high, and then step back in. We don't know, or do we lose this and go lower? But if dollar index starts to turn like we're predicting, it should give us some breathing space to go back up and hold above this. This is a trend line that you can see approximately, and then squeeze it to level play. So bit of a messy one though with dollar index. What's GBP USD? I think that should have fallen on itself there. GBP USD. Got some bullshit lines over here one day. Oh yeah, for those who want to understand what's going on here. So what happened is, this is the range high, this is the range low. As you can see, this is a range bound environment, and what I did is copy this and paste this over here. And price has actually come back to the 1.5 area, right? It's just over here. So this should hold a support. This area, this is a deviation, hold a support, and what we're looking for is a reclaim back to this area here. That's what we're looking for, and this is the range low from this range bound environment there. Question is this a deviation? Is this a retest for us to break down and go back lower, or is it a deviation for us to step back into the range, play it level to level, take out this liquidity up there? Really difficult to say what's going to happen. You know, it all comes down to what I mean. The pound sterling. I mean, the government in the UK, the BOE, are actually doubling up the amount they buy per day. I think 10 billion of bonds they're buying every day. QNT. Someone asking the group about QNT, so I might as well do this here then and move. Okay, let's have a look. And so on. Let's have a look. Have a fag break in it. Can't go wrong with a fag break. Otherwise, how you guys keeping them, man? You tell me, man. What's new with you guys? I'll do QNT first, actually. So right off the bat, as you can see, resistance is right over here. See this low here? I think it's about, I'd say, low here? No. Well, really, truly. This area of consolidation. Oh, fucking hell. It's so wiki. It's a little bit more difficult to say. Let's go on the weekly. I think it makes a bit more sense. There we go. Yeah, I think it's this low. It's this. See this low here? That's causing resistance right now. So what we need to look for QNT. So we're gonna have. So if you're in longs on QNT, take some profits over here, right? Because this is resistance, as you can see, and this is back what? I mean, 2020's highs here. So we're taking out. Wait, what the fuck? Oh no. 2020 high is here. 2020 high is here. Shit. That's where 2020 high. I think 22 high is here. So really, it's this here, this block here, causing this whole issues going forward. So I think we're squeezing a little bit more. I think we're squeezing a little bit more into this area, because this was the last high that's in the market back down now. Alright, so I do feel we come into this area there, which comes in about approximately $165 to the 211 area. Let's have a look. Let's go on. Let's just start doing a top-down analysis on this. Yeah, smash the like skin. Well, thank you so much for that. Can you go over the EU bond situation and what it means for the market? I probably won't be able to do that today. The best person who actually will explain that, to be honest, I'll be honest with you, when it comes to EU bond, the bonds and stuff like that, the best person is EXO. I don't have the clear mindset, like the clear understanding, like a high understanding on the bond markets, on the EU bonds itself, compared to EXO. EXO's probably your best guy. He did a stream yesterday. I haven't checked it out. I haven't even looked at his stream yesterday anyway. But I'm not too sure if he's covered it there. Has anyone seen it and actually could actually answer that for him, for Gandalf? So yeah, let's look at. Fucking hell. So let's see what's going on in monthly. Monthly, where we're playing at, it's in this range, man. February's range we stepped into. Actually, no, I'd say Jan's range. Yeah, we're back in Jan's range now. That's it. This is where we stepped in. Clear as daylight there. Fucking hell. QNT is the clearest one. The Q is the clearest thingy. You covered it on Sunday stream. There you go. What's going on, Anglio? Anglio, how you doing, bro? Shout out to Anglio, man. Good man he is as well. Oh, was it about footprints and TPO? Okay. All the flows and stuff like that. Okay, cool. So QNT. So we've got this high and this low there, and this is January's range, right? So which, remember I said to you we're looking to go towards 2022's high. It just makes sense over here now. As you can see, right, what we've done when we shanked down, we've done a deviation of the range. We've find kind of a bit of support, take out the stop loss in July, and we shot up to the mid range. And so far, right, in October, so September found resistance at the mid range. October is above the mid range. We've taken out this high over here. So that's one sign. That's a good sign there. We're showing some promising of bullishness as well. I mean, if you were to look at it this way, just looking at the market structure there, that's the high, that's the lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high. So now, as long as this low doesn't take out, it's a massive swing trade anyway. As long as this high doesn't take out, we can refine this and then go up higher into Monday's high, Jan's high, around $200. That is 197. That's the area it's going to be at. So let's go on the weekly, see what they're looking at. Yeah, weekly, like I said, we're going to find some resistance off this area here. So this is where we're looking to come into, which squeezes into the 25% range. So if we squeeze back up, I'm quite fine with a retest here, hold above the mid range, and then we can start looking to play it back into this area here and into the range high. I wouldn't mind that, and then take out liquidity on Mondays on Jan's high. That's the thingy, Jan's high. Once we take out liquidity, squeeze out of this, break out, off we go. Next target then. So we'll see what we got. We got a little bit more grind to go. Not too much. It's not looking too bad. What's the weekly saying? Weekly we took out. I mean, last week what we took out last week's high there. Showing some more bullishness as well. We're taking out this area of consolidation right there. You see this area here. So now we're at the mid range, so it's going to be a bit choppy. I expect a bit of a pullback though. I'm not gonna lie to you, but let's look at the daily, see what they're saying. So the daily, right? Where's he finding support? Do we find support off this height? No, we don't. Okay. Daily is forcing out a range bound environment up here from this range over here, alright? So I do see us coming back into this area. I do see us coming back into here, hold above this, and then we can actually squeeze this back up to this, into 25% and then range high. But where would I be wrong off the daily? I'd be wrong. If we come back down below the mid range, it's going to be a bit of chop. All this is going to be chop here, okay? Because we're at the mid range. We come back down below the mid range and we start to find a resistance off this high here, right? Because it's acting as support. As long as we're above this, we're acting as support. Get below it, we're acting as resistance. If we start finding resistance, break down below here, start finding resistance off these lows over here, then you're gonna have to short this down. And what that is, that was just a deviation of the mid range. And let's play it back down to 25% range into this. Oops, you can't see it actually in my head. Into this base right over here. That's what we're looking at. 25% of the range first, and then we look at how we react off the highs up there. So that's what we're looking for, QNT. It's looking good though. Let's see what we look at the hourly. Okay. I like this though. I like this. So it's consolidating in this area. So if you want to use this beam, once we break above, take above this high, hold it support, that's your long, off you go. You can play up higher. If you want to actually play on the downside, what we're looking for is let it consolidate, take out this low over here, whoops, take out this low there, find resistance, off we go, play it down. This is your entry, play it down to the mid range, well, off the highs I said first, wherever that high was. Let's have a look. It's probably this high here. Let's see, I'll use this high over here. Into this, this has target 1, and that'll be target 2. Then we see how we react. If we come back up, find resistance, play back down. As discussed at the daily. That's QNT there. Daink brother, could you show how using an example for what is trigger for short and long, how to identify it? Can you share your candle setup? Okay, crypto. Anglia Olympic explained that. My candle setup, like in terms of my chart, really is this, man. I think I should do a video on that. So if I double click on the chart itself, right? So I've got a blank chart here, right? Yeah. If I double click on this, see the body. So white is 1 second. Fuck you know. Sorry about that. I think I'm coming up with a flu there. I haven't done Soul yet. I'll do it in just a moment. Okay. So if you want to learn how I get these candles, how it looks like black and white, literally all I do, double click on it, right? You come to this chart settings. So you see the symbol, the body, right? The first one is white, the second one is black. So that means all up candles are white and down candles are black. You can change it to whatever you want to do as well. It's not a problem as well. You can mix and match it. And my borders are all in black. My wicks are all in black. And this is literally it. That's literally is the gist of it as well. And then so if I change it like before, it used to be like green. I don't know what color it was. I think it was like this. And then the red one. This is red. Yeah, that's how it used to look like before, isn't it? Right? I mean, it looks alright in it. But it looks, to me, it's just weird. So double click on it. Body, it's white. You can see it all change to white. And then this one will be black, and that's it. And I keep my borders. So if I put it white, you see the white candles looks all fucking shit. So you put it black, it actually highlights it, so you can actually see it there. Okay. So in terms of setups, right, and triggers it's a bit complicated, right? But you need to understand. I think so. Like, we'll talk about triggers in the DCC really soon, because I know that's another topic that people want to get a hold of as well. But we'll talk about that briefly. Just touch on it as well. Like, once I understand my market structure, right? This is how my market structure is. You got a low, got a high, high, low, high. It's becoming a higher low. Like, the trigger really is once we take out these highs over there, right? Then, in its own way, right? This has now become the higher low. This has now become the higher high, and it retests, right? Hold above it, and then that's my trigger for me to enter for a long, taking out these highs there, right? That's pretty much the gist of it. It's a lot more refined to it, but it's gonna take me more than 20 minutes or 15 minutes to actually cover this up. To be honest, this is like a whole hour episode really to do that. But we'll do that in the near future. But literally, truly, I mean, if I want to refine it, I can refine it from this high here. That's capping the market there. And the moment we step back up, right, and you retest, right, you base it on invalidation, right? It's like, once you get above this high there, right, because we're making higher highs, higher lows, this has now become more of a confirmation play. So the triggers really, it varies on what I'm looking at in terms of time frame and what I'm looking at in terms of the play that I'm looking for. Yeah, it's gonna take me more than it's gonna take me more than 15, 20 minutes to cover this up. I'll have to make some time for this going in the future to break this down. Piotr, are you in the thingy? Are you in the DCC? Because I know I got Piotr there, but there's two Piotrs that's in this chat. Mr. M, don't worry about it. You take care of yourself and you have a good day at work, man. What's going on, Yuri? Yuri's a fucking man, I ain't gonna lie to you. Yuri's a fucking man. He's killing it in the thingy. Him and, what's his name? Who is it again? One second. Frankie. Him and Frankie are killing it. Speaking of Frankie, is Frankie here? John? I think he was here. But yeah, those two are killing it, man. Yeah, and Kurash. Frankie and you mean Kaboosh? Yeah, they're killing it, man. These guys are fucking legends, man. I can see for S-Zash, have you guys noticed that S-Zash has really fit into that company between them three as well? Those three are going at it, man. They're just like bouncing off each other, man. Frankie Noodles. Yeah, man. They're fucking. I'm loving it. Like, do you know what it is like last night, right? When I woke up, right, I was just sitting there, just reading all the messages. I'm like, I'm loving this. This This feels like back in the days when I was like young, fucking hell, when I was starting to study, and I just bouncing ideas back and forth, innit? So shout out to these guys there. So let's look at Sol quickly. Don't want to really override the stream because as some of you are aware, the country club is getting a bit more hectic now. So anyway, look where we come at to. This is a range band environment between this high and this low. It's in orange. It's the weekly low and the weekly high over here, right? This low and this high, and this area here is the mid range of a macro weekly. Way fucking time before, about a year ago or some shit like that. Okay, so what we're looking at. Oh, fuck it now. What's going on there? Put my glasses on if I get another migraine again. Yeah, they're chilling each other. Yeah, they're chilling each other and everything, man, challenging each other. Yeah, it's beautiful to see that, isn't it, Justin? I gotta say that. Get involved, man. All of you guys, get involved, man. The more the merrier, isn't it? That's how you learn, innit? I ain't gonna lie to you. One thing to learn is when you have like a partner and you can have a little group. You know that study groups you have when you're at school, innit? I never did study groups. I always thought there was a bit of a... I don't know if you can say the word gay now, right? But like, back in the days when you say, oh yeah, that's gay. But like, we can't really say that nowadays anyway. But like, because of the whole freaking hurting people's feelings and shit like that, right? And politically correct and all that nonsense. I don't really understand that very well, but maybe I'm just too old for the system. But anyway, I always felt like study groups was for girls, right? Like with the flashcards and whatever. I was very old school. So, but these guys are killing it with like having a proper group anyway. So fair play to these motherfuckers out there. Anyway, yeah. See, Yuri's actually saying jump in, man. That's a good energy from the guy, man. Big love for that. So this is where the range band environment is, right? So really, 30.34 is what's holding the low there. We've got support there. We've come into this area there, and at the moment, it's bouncing off like the middle of nowhere, right? We can see a little gap there. What's causing this actually to bounce the support? It's this low there. So now we can say that we're going to go back into this area here to 25% of range, and then from there we'll see what happens. Now I can't really enter the trade unless I want to do a swing trade. I probably put my stop loss below. Is this lower low? So low? Yeah. Yeah, around this. Well, basically, really and truly, is this, right? You see this area here? This area consolidation has been holding a support, right? Makes sense. Just like BTC, very similar. Support. Again, support. As long as this box holds, right, we're good to go for the upside, which means I put a stop loss here, right? That's where my invalidation would be, below the lows here, or whichever low is the lowest, right? Just to give me a little... There's not really much breathing space there, because I think it might have worked out about a couple of cents, or like 1 or 2 cents. But we're going back up, right? Holding this area here. Step back into this range there. Fuck that range. Fuck that shit range. We don't fucking need that shit. And then once we break out market structure, right? See this high here? Step back up, and you retest, hold above it. Then we can squeeze into this area, and I'm looking to take out these highs there into this area, into the mid range. At the mid range, that will be your target there. Target 1 is all done. Does that make sense? Once you get to target 1, let's draw this out properly. It's the area of resistance. Once we reclaim and hold above it, that'll be target 1 done. Once we get to target 1, break up, hold above it, we're gonna find some reaction there. But on the good side, right, is that once we take on this high there, it shows us there's more leeway to take out liquidity on the upside over here and potentially up here, and then we can go up to the mid range. It's a range high. And then once we squeeze up into this area, this is the macro mid range we talked about. That's where you're gonna have to take some profits there and watch how the reaction is, because what we got here, really and truly, is this. See this area here? I'd say probably this area here. I think so. I think that's what the area is holding up. Yeah. If we step back into this area, find resistance, starts breaking down and gets below this mid range, then I'm gonna start looking to cut the trade. Right, for me, I'm looking to cut the trade because we come back into the mid range and maybe squeezing back in down. I don't fucking know. But if we can actually get back up and come out, take out these highs over there, that's your next set of targets, right? Hold above it, off you go, range high, take out the liquidity, and that's it, done. And all you've done is just like here, you played it from the low to the high, and then once we step back in, high to low, low to, well, it didn't come to high, it's bouncing off the 75% of the range, which makes me think there's going to be a lot of reactions over here. But we have to see what happens. And if we get this, Bob's your uncle, let's go back up to range high at $36, and then that's it. And then from there, we'll see what happens. Do we get back above We'll see what BTC is doing. If BTC and Ethereum is looking bullish, I think we have a lot more play there. How much of a play? Well, fucking hell. I mean, look, you see how we lost this trend line? Right? You see how we lost this trend line over here? Let's move this over there. Let's change the time frame to 4 hours. Right? Once we break out of this, only then can we say this set as well, target 1, and then target 2, and then let's see if we can squeeze into this area. I'll definitely take some profits over here. That'll be target 3, and that'll be target 4. That's it. And then we'll see what happens there. So, as long, see the mid-range is always going to be choppy. This is the macro mid-range over here. It's going to be choppy. It's going to be like a restless over there. So we'll just wait for this breakout to happen for us to say, yeah, confirmation. Off we go. Sorry about that. Not doing too well there. Sensitivity analysis requested for the sensei. What? Huh? Yuri's leg. I don't quite understand. Thank you, Adam. Appreciate that, man. Yeah. Yeah, man. You know what? But price is always in a range, isn't it? It's always in a goddamn range. You just gotta work this out level to level. A lot for the game. I mean, back in like, yeah, and politically incorrect, yeah, that 20 years ago, we were saying all this kind of thing. This is gay, you're gay, you're gay, you're gay. Like, you were saying it all the time. It's a normal thing, right? But you can't say that nowadays, or not. Gay means happy, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gay. I'm not very happy. I'm ill. Cancel Daink. I'm saying I'm not gay in it. I'm just not happy. It was weird though. I remember the first time I said to someone, like, once he became politically incorrect, I was like, oh, stop being gay. I said to him, stop being gay. And the fucking chick, right, it was a woman, that's the funny thing, it was a lady. She started blasting me. She's like, oh, how dare you call me gay, this and that, whatever, X, Y, and Z. I'm like, bro, I swear to God you're a lesbian. What are you getting offended for? And she was a lesbian. Her name was Helen. She was one of them butchy lesbians. You know them ones that look like a fucking man? And I bet you she wears like a strap on her when she bangs a girl. So, I mean, she would beat me up, man. She was big. She was a big girl, right? She was a very big motherfucking girl. Like, well, them, you know them Carlas, innit? Check your... Oh, man, you guys cancelling me already now. A bit like Sneeko and fucking... What's it? No, but Sneeko and Andrew Tate, I think that's a bit of a... I think that's a bit far-fetched, though. How they're actually cancelling these guys there. I don't see what they're doing wrong. Am I old to say that? I don't see what they're doing wrong. I think that most people are not understanding the context behind what they're saying. They're just saying that girls are slags, which is true. Most of them are slags nowadays. They are, that's why I prefer not to deal with younger ladies, I'm just saying to you, they're slags, isn't it? They have a high body count, but they like the tyrants, isn't it? That's what it is. They like the tyrants. Oh, bro, Goody, you're gonna fuck me over, is it? Thank you, Anglia. Appreciate that. Bro, you're a smart guy, man. Do you know Anglia, right? Right? He's a smart motherfucker. You guys don't understand this. The geezer, right? He was saying this in the group yesterday. The geezer was telling us a story, and I was listening to his story, and I was like, you caught some sweet motherfucking moves. Like, the guy caught Phantom at like, fucking, was it under 10 cents or something like that? Like, he caught phantoms, so he caught things really, really early. So all of us here, it's just what it is, though, Anglia, is that sometimes, like, everyone has different fortes in it when it comes to, like, looking at charts or looking at crypto, looking at DGen coins, looking at loads of different things, right? And most of us, what we tend to do during the bull run, we follow where the money's at. We don't try to understand what the money is trying to do. We try to follow where the money's at. It's not about following it. It's understanding what the money is. And then you can actually follow it very well. So, although I post plans saying, yeah, if we break out here, we go up to here, then up to there, X, Y, and Z. But that's if we break out. If we break out. Because always remember, Aglio, that price is always in a range. Look how long we've been in this range for. For over a month. Over a month we're still in this range. September's low, right? Well, not September's low. This is September's low. But this is September. And this is September, and we're still in September's range. We haven't really changed out of any position yet. So it comes down to what dollar index is doing, and understanding what dollar index could be potentially doing. Speaking about dollar index, let's see what's going on. Nothing much really. But so it comes down to understand what dollar index is, and then ES, which is why I do like the things I do, right? There's a reason behind every thought process. So for example, if I were to look at at the start of the stream, I always do dollar index, ES, and then do BTC. Because you have to remember, BTC, Bitcoin and Ethereum and all the alts, they don't run in its own world. It doesn't do that. As much as we want to actually have it, run in its own world, it's not going to do that. So what we try to follow is that everyone has actually accepted now that it's correlated to the S&P. So what we do is, right, to understand the S&P, you need to understand dollar index. To understand dollar index, you need to understand like what is it comprised of. So 54% of the dollar index is comprised of the euro, and then you understand, okay, the dollar index is affected by different market attributes like market news. Fundamentally, this is where fundamentals come into place, where we use Forex Factory, and we can understand, okay, hang on a second, we've got CPI, PPI, FOMC, we got NFP, we got all these crazy things, preliminary, UOMs, all these things, they have an effect on the market. And if they affected the US dollar, right, the dollar currency index, then what will end up happening is that's going to have a domino effect on ES, will also have a domino effect on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the rest of alts. It's just like that. So, yeah, it does actually. I think it's a small amount. It's a very small amount, but dollar index is comprised of like I think 8 major currencies. I believe GBP, Euro, Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen. I can't think of the others. I think it's Canadian dollars also involved, but the euro holds a massive portion of the basket. It's 54% is comprised of it. So when dollar index, right? Here's some alpha. 5 million market cap. There you go. Anglia called it a 5 million market cap. Fucking smart motherfucker there. Bro, I should be following you, fam. I do. On Twitter, I definitely do. But what the thing is so like when dollar index, this is what I do. This is a little secret to you guys. So when I actually find like dollar index is hard to read, right? Then I go to the euro dollar. I look at what euro USD is doing. And then whatever the euro USD is doing, dollar index is going to do the inverse of it. Swedish coins, yeah. And the Swiss CHY, that's the Swiss coin as well. Swiss also, yeah, that's right, yeah. Euro is fucking smart. And then once I've understood what dollar index is doing, I follow what ES is doing, and I let the domino effect happen with Bitcoin and Ethereum. So that's the gist of it. And then obviously you gotta understand how to chart, how to read the charts as well, and then that will come up. That will all come together really, really soon for you guys as well, 100%. All right, guys, it is coming up to like close to an hour. I'm gonna call it a day. There's a lot to do in the country club, so I'm gonna catch up on that. Before I go off, let's see what Bitcoin is doing. Nothing much. 4 hours. Yeah, we're closing below the 25% range. I might take some profit and tighten my stop here. Ethereum. Yeah, again, comes to 25% of Monday's range as well. What's EPTC quickly doing? Still ranging. Still range bounding, actually. Didn't do a massive breakout. Took out these highs over here, as you can see. Really and truly, right? Once we see this high here, this is what's capping the market. Very clean. Very, very clean as well. As long as this low holds, right? Once we reclaim and hold above it, right? Then we can say, yep, squeeze into the mid-range, and then squeeze all the way to here. I think this is where we're going to get some sort of, to be honest, that's just 4 hours. We're definitely going to see some reaction off here, off this low here. You see that? That's going to be it's going to be the first area of reaction. Come back for a retest and see if we can actually reclaim and squeeze to this area. We take out these highs there, and then we can say, yeah, there's some bullishness in the market going on, and let's go up there. And crypto should actually be a bit more well versed as well, with dollar index breaking down. And then the ES should reclaim the 2021's low, making higher highs on lower time frames, and we just work it out there level to level. Okay, so that's it for me, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. I think tomorrow might be the same, just going to be quite a short burst, and that's not going to be much to talk about because it is going to be a volatile week. Play this level to level, nothing too complicated. Yeah, stay safe, guys. All right, okay. So that's it for me, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Take care.